Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Okay, in this video we will return to the discussion about the two characters that will be released in the next version, which is version 2.7. Because a few hours ago when this video was made, it was released on various social media about the latest kit information from Fugue and also Sunday in the 5th version. Well, what surprised me when I saw these changes is that in version 5, or we can call it the final version, they got nerfs from hoyoverse for some of the existing kits. And well, literally all the changes in this final version are nerfs, so almost no kits get buffs at all. So instead of being curious, let's jump into the video right now. Let's do this. Do you have a character or weapon in the game that you really want but you don't have enough Stellar Jade? Here is a smarter way to recharge your favorite games like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail. Look no further than Loot Bar. Loot Bar is the most reliable top-up platform. It saves up to 20% for all orders compared with the official channel, and it provides an 5% off for your first purchase. It's 100% safe as you will only be using your UID. We will buy pack for 3000 Stellar Jades for $42, which otherwise would have costed $50, totally saving $7.5. We received the crystals we purchased in less than 3 minutes. All recharge will be done through the official channel with miHoYo, which allows you to enjoy all top-up offers. Ready to level up your gaming experience? Check the link in the description to get the amazing discount. First of all, we will start from Tingyun's side first. For the first kit to get changes in the final version, the skill called Virtue Beckons Bliss. As we already know, this skill can give Function Prayer status to one ally, then make their attacks be able to provide a defense reduction debuff of 18% which can last for 2 turns. In the previous version, there was one additional point in her kit, which was the provision of a toughness reduction effect for ally who had Function Prayer. If the ally who gets Function Prayer attacks on enemy that does not have the same elemental weakness as them, then this ally's attack can cause a toughness reduction of 50% of the original toughness possessed by the enemy. Pretty good, isn't it? Then what nerf do you think she got through this skill? Yep, you're right guys. One of the nerfs she got was a reduction in the value of the break effect she gave to the ally who received the Function Prayer buff, which was previously 40%, now lowered to 30% only. The change is not too big, only 10%. But indirectly, this will slightly reduce the value it has. In addition to my personal opinion, I see no urgency to nerf this kit, because in the previous version, I think this skill is quite balanced. But what do you think? Now we will get into the second kit change, which is the traces of Tingyun Fugue named Fugue Primordia. Honestly, in the previous version, this kit was one of my favorite. Why? Because this kit can provide a significant additional break effect on the maximum stack, up to 40%. But as you can see in this final version, the kit named Fugue Primordia has a slight adjustment. When one enemy target is weakness broken, the break effect of teammates except Tingyun Fugue will increase by 6%. If Fugue has a break effect of 220% or more, the break effect boost given in this condition will increase to 12%. This break effect boost lasts for 2 turns and can be stacked 2 times. If you understand from the latest kit changes in this 5th version, then you will realize that in this latest version, there are 2 changes that exist, namely changes to the break effect limit that Tingyun Fugue must have. Previously, Tingyun minimum had to have at least 250% break effect in order to work optimally. But in the latest version, the limit was eased, or we might say lowered, to 220%. But unfortunately, with the decrease in the limit, the buff provided by the Tingyun Fugue also decreased, which initially Tingyun will provide an additional 8% to 6%, while for the additional break effect, it decreased from the initial 16% to 12% only. If we calculate in total, then the total additional break effect that can be given through these traces is only 30%, which was originally 40%. Okay, now we will move on to the next change, which is Tingyun Fugue's Eidolon 6, which is named Clairvoyance of Boom and Doom. Honestly, for this kit, there is no significant change. There is only a slight change in words, but it still has the same meaning. The effect will give weakness break efficiency to the Tingyun Fugue, and when the Tingyun is in a state of Torrid Scorch, then all our party members will get the effect of Function Prayer. The effect in my opinion is good enough, so I feel there is no need to change it. Okay, then we will move on to the next kit, which is Tingyun Fugue's Lycone. Tingyun Fugue's Lycone also experienced a slight adjustment. In the previous version, this Lycone will increase the user's break effect by 60%, and when the enemy experiences weakness broken, there is a 100% chance to give a debuff called Sharing to the enemy. which the debuff will increase the break damage received by 20%, which lasts for 2 turns. In the latest version, the addition of break damage received by the enemy decreased from 20% to 18%. Okay, now we move on to another character who got some nerfs to his kit. Who else if not Sunday? Unlike Tingyun, Sunday only received 2 nerfs to his kit. For the first nerf, there is a skill called Benison of Paper and Rights. In the previous effect, this skill will make one target ally and summon from that ally to immediately get a turn. However, this turn acceleration will not trigger if this skill is given to a character who has a Harmony path. In addition to get turn acceleration, the ally who received this buff will get an additional 40% damage. But if the character has a summon, then the character will get an additional 40% damage to 80%. And finally, this skill will provide an additional 1 skill point if used on characters who have the Beatified status. As you can see, at first glance, this skill is close to a pretty good standard skill. Can be used for characters who have summons or not. But it seems that in this version, hoyoverse wants Sunday to have better effect on characters who have summons. So in the latest version, the percentage of increased damage produced by characters who receive this skill is slightly changed. Where previously the percentage was balanced, well, in the latest version, the percentage distribution of these values was changed and made inclined for characters who have summon mechanics, with the new percentage being 30% and 50%. Honestly, the change is not significant, but if the percentage is like this, then indirectly hoyoverse deliberately makes Sunday will be much more efficient if paired with characters who have summons compared to the previous version. What do you think, guys? And now we come to the last change in version 5, which is Sunday's Eidolon 1. Anyway, just like some of the kits we discussed at the beginning of the video, for the kit named Millennium's Quietus also did not experience much change actually. In the previous version, when Sunday uses his skill, it will allow the target character to ignore the enemy's defense. And the target character summon will ignore 40% of the enemy's defense when dealing damage, and this effect will last for 2 turns. Now, in the latest version, this percentage, which was originally 20%, has been reduced to 16% only, which means there is a decrease of approximately 4%. Not much indeed, but still, he was nerfed a little. Okay, I think in this video I will also do a little brief impression of me personally about the final kit of the 2 characters that will be released in the upcoming version 2.7. Overall, the 2 characters that will be released in the upcoming version are pretty good, can occupy special roles that have not existed before, not as power creep versions of other characters. And in some ways, these 2 characters look convincing enough to be characters that can survive in the new meta in version 3.0, which is the servant meta. However, like all characters out there are pros and cons to each characters. And we will start with Tingyun Fugue first. In terms of her overall kit, she offers quite interesting things, although not the best. One of the interesting things is that she has a support ability, but she has a Nihility path, which means that she actually has an opportunity to be combined with some teams outside the Super Break team, which is the Acheron team. Besides that, the other thing that I find most interesting about her kit is her ability to generate Exo Toughness. As we know, until now, no character has been able to issue abilities like this. This Exo Toughness is very good when paired with characters who are part of the Super Break team, because it can produce break damage many times. Apart from that, this Tingyun Fugue is also predicted to be a replacement character for Harmony main character in the Super Break team, because the main character is rumored to have a new path in version 3.0, which is Remembrance. Which means at least Tingyun Fugue should be able to fill the void left by Harmony main character in the patch. However, if you do a comparison of these 2 characters, Tingyun Fugue does not provide a significant difference with what Harmony main character currently has. Even in some categories, such as giving super break damage, Harmony main character's support ability to be able to give super break damage looks better than Tingyun's. You can see some comparisons in the image I listed. Of course, if you've seen this, it makes the premium character title questionable, right? Moreover, we can get Harmony main character for free, even up to the 6th Eidolon. In the kit, Tingyun Fugue is good unit, but this is not good enough to encourage most players to take this character in the next version, especially if you decide to keep using Harmony main character as supports to give your team a super break. Apart from that, for other characters that will be released in patch 2.7, namely Sunday, I honestly can't talk much about this character, because this character is actually a pretty good unit. Even in some kits, this character is a power creep version of the Bronya character that was released at the beginning of the game. But unlike Bronya, karena Sunday is a support that is more suitable to be paired with future characters. So if you look at his overall kit at this point, it's not going to shine like other characters' kits. But the thing that bugs me personally is that Sunday's Eidolon is not very tempting for most people. Well, this can be seen from several sides. If you look at it positively, then Sunday is a character with quite good abilities even without Eidolon. But if you look at all his abilities, he is not a character who is overpowered. It can even be said that Robin, which is character who has been released first, has a more special kit at the time of its release, because it can give advanced action to all party members by 100%. In addition, I think for giving nerfs in this update, I personally don't think it's too necessary, because even without being given a nerf, I think the kit from Sunday is already quite balanced with the kits out there. Moreover, hoyoverse nerfed his Eidolon 1, which made some people undo the intention to take his Eidolon in the next patch. But what do you think, guys? Okay guys, I think that's all for now. What do you think about Tingyon and Sunday in the latest patch? Feel free to comment down below, and don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.